Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver, Marije Schut and Max Boyer, a mini-documentary for poetry and literature.
The poem is about the transience of life. It is about moving on, and it is heavily dependent on nature references. The symbolism of nature is the essence of the poem. Mary wrote the poem after losing her mother, so she has experience and knows how to let go.
Firstly, we will take you through the poem line by line and discuss the most important themes and stylistic devices. After that, we will answer our research question.
The research question, where the mini documentary is about, is: what does the poem say about the importance of letting go? The trees are turning their own bodies into pillars.
The first sentence already makes it personal. Someone is telling someone to look. This also means that person is not alone. The trees are turning. It shows action. The trees are doing something, which is being emphasized by the alliteration of the T's in trees and turning. Pillars are upright, high. The trees are going up. This is positive imagery of a strong, high tree.
Light are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment.
In this stanza, Oliver uses this alliteration fragrance and fulfillment. This is very effective to use because it adds to the intensity of the smell description.
Tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders.
In the third stanza, we find the repetition of consonant sounds in bursting and blue, which are both bilabial stops. This stanza paints a picture of the cattails going up in flames and being carried away by the wind.
Of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned.
She uses ponds and then ponds in stanza 4, and name and then nameless in stanza 5. This precise choice of words and the repeating sounds add to the almost rhythmical flow of the poem.
In my lifetime leads back to this, the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side.
The sixth stanza mentions multiple fires. A black river of loss. Black is dark, associated with death, but rivers are moving water. Again, the loss is described as an active process. Motion is implied. The other side of the river? We don't know what's on that side yet.
Is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know, to live in this world. You must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it. Clench your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
In the last stanza, we are presented the answer to our research question. In fact, it is the very essence of the poem. The first half is about embracing, the second part is about letting go or loss. Also important is the third line in this stanza. It implies the moment of letting go is inevitable.
So, after this analysis, we can conclude the answer of our research question is as follows. The poem is very clear of the importance of letting go. It is one of the three things you must be able to do in order to live in this world. According to the poem, there are three main aspects in life. The first is to love the things that we know won't last. The second is to cherish those things and be aware that they are vital to life. You cannot live without loving, so not loving to avoid loss is not an option. And then, inevitably, you have to let it go when the time comes. Even though it is very clear from the poem that letting go is important, it is less specific as to why it is important. This is where the nature symbolism comes in.
Let's assume we start with the woods we have at the start of the poem and take away the fire. The fire represents the death or loss and the reason why we need to let go after. So now we have a situation with no fire, where trees will grow unhindered. Eventually the woods will become incredibly dense, blocking out all the lies. The trees will grow old and slowly rot away. Now let us introduce the fire to that forest. Of course, the fire will take out many of the trees and will result in the loss of a piece of nature. However, soon after the fire, new life will start growing at the place of the fire. A lot of nutrients that come from the old trees will return to the soil, New species and plants and trees will have the opportunity to grow since sunlight can now reach the ground again. This is the message the author is trying to get across. You cannot live if you're trying to avoid loss and should not be scared to let go.